These are the top 10 mistakes DJs make with their Serato library. Now, the first one is not having a centralized folder for all your music. A lot of DJs have their music literally on their desktop, their downloads, their documents, their music folder, literally everywhere. And if you have your music like this, it's really hard to manage. Like, imagine if you need to back up your music library. Which folder are you backing up? You're going to back up your entire desktop, your documents. If you want to move your music library from one computer to another, you're going to have to try and gather up all these files and then move them over to the computer. Whereas if you have one folder for all your music, all you need to do to back up, you just point your backup solution to that one folder. Or if you need to move your music from one computer to the other, all you literally need to do is pick up that folder and move it over. So what I would suggest is creating a music folder called All Music and putting it in your music folder on your computer. Now on Windows, I think there's a music folder, and on Mac, there's a music folder as well. So literally inside that, alongside your Serato folder, all you need to have is a folder called All Music. And then inside there, you don't have to make it complicated. Like, I know a lot of DJs will have like it broken down by artist, broken down by year. All you need to do is just have genres in there and then the tracks inside the genre folders. So say for example, you've got dancehall, R&B, house, hip hop. Inside there, all you're gonna have is your MP3s. Then what you can do is do all your organization inside Serato. It's just a lot more easier to manage this way. The next mistake I see DJs making with their Serato library is not using smart crates. A lot of DJs don't actually know much about smart crates. So a smart crate is literally a crate that you set rules for, and then based on those rules, it will pull in those tracks. So say for example, I've created a smart crate with the rule genre is R&B. It will pull in all my R&B tracks that have the genre tag R&B. So to find the smart crate option in Serato, all you need to do is come up to this blue button here, set your rules, and then click save, and it will auto populate the tracks for you. Setting up smart crates is the best thing, and I feel like what you should do is set up genre smart crates at the bare minimum. So inside your Serato, what you should have on the left hand side is a main crate called genres, and inside there should be all the genres that you have in your music library: R&B, hip hop, house, dancehall, disco. And then when you're adding new music into your music library, just make sure that the genre has the correct tag and it will automatically go in there. Having genre smart crates is so powerful because if you know where all your music is and it's in one central location, when it comes to organizing further, it's a lot easier. So for me, when I went away the other month, I said to myself I was going to organize my dancehall folder. So I went over to my dancehall smart crate because I knew that all my dancehall tracks were inside that folder, and then I organized it by one and I worked all the way down until I got to the end. The only way I was able to do this is because all my dancehall tracks were in this one folder. If you have your dancehall tracks here, there and everywhere without the correct tags, they're not going to be in one central location for you to organize it. So make your life easier, DJs. Create smart crates, create genre smart crates so you can help yourself out when you're organizing your music library. The next mistake I see DJs making is not removing duplicates from your music library. Now, I know a lot of DJs, when they first bought their MacBook, they went for the cheaper option. They went for the 128 option or even the 256 option. And I've been there because obviously MacBooks are quite expensive. So you haven't got that much memory on your music library. So when you're adding new music, getting music from other DJs, downloading music online, you're accumulating a lot of tracks and you're accumulating a lot of duplicates as well. And the more duplicates you have, the more space it takes up, and then the less space you have for new tracks. So what you should be doing is managing your duplicates and removing your duplicates out your music library. I've created a free duplicates tab. If you check the first link in the description down below, you can scan your music library completely free and remove all your duplicates so you can free up some space. Let me know in the comments down below how many duplicates you found in your music library. The next mistake I see DJs making is not using genres effectively. I've been helping a lot of DJs organize their music library, and every time I look at a music library, it all comes down to their genres. If you go have a look at any normal DJ's music library, all their genres are all over the place. So you're gonna have like hip hop /rap, hip hop /R&B, hip hop dance, hip hop this, hip hop that. So what you need to do is clean up all your genres so they're all consistent and all standardized. So if you have hip hop /rap, hip hop /R&B, just condense them all down to hip hop, and then make sure that all your genres in your music library are all nice and clean. So if you have a look at my music library, from the top all the way to the bottom, you can see that each track has a genre and they're all the same. You don't see me having Afrobeat and then Afro beats. You don't see me having dancehall, one word, and then dance space hall. It's all one genre, and this is going to help you out a lot when it comes to organizing further on. So what I suggest for you to do is go to All Music in Serato, order the crate by genre. So alphabetically, A is at the top, and then work your way down. If you see a genre that you don't think is correct, then change it. So say for example, you've got Afrobeat, add the S onto it, so it's Afro beats. Work your way down, and if you see a genre that you're not too sure of, or you want to just completely get rid of it, set it as no genre. We don't want to see any blank spaces in your genre columns, right? This is what makes me feel sick when I look at a music library. So you either need to have a genre, like a main genre in your music library, or no genre. And the reason why you should have no genre is because from inputting no genre into your tracks, you can start building up a bunch of tracks that you need to sort out. So what I would do is on the left hand side, create a smart crate with the rule genre is no genre, and that will populate all the tracks that have no genre and put it into a smart crate, which you can then sort out later on. You can go through these tracks 20 minutes a day and then update the genre. Or if you don't want to do it manually, you can use my app Music Library Tools Years and Genres and literally drag these tracks into the app, and it will populate the tracks where it can. When your genres are clean and organized, it makes things a lot easier, because like I said in the previous point, you can create smart crates and then have all your tracks in one central location. If you've got tracks with all different types of genres, you're not going to know where all your tracks are. I know that all my hip hop tracks are on the left hand side over here in my hip hop smart crate, because every single hip hop track that I have has hip-hop. I'm not missing any hip hop tracks, and if I am missing any hip hop tracks, they're in my to sort folder, which I need to go through. So I know exactly where all my hip hop tracks are, and so should you too. The next mistake I see DJs making is leaving out artist info. Now, when I scroll through a music library and I see that a track doesn't have an artist, it makes me feel sick. So I make sure that I update the artist in all my tracks. And if I don't have an artist or I don't know the artist, I put no artist in there. So then I can make another smart crate with the rule artist is no artist, and it will automatically populate into that crate. Then I can go through that 20 minutes a day and update that. The next mistake I see DJs making in their Serato library is overcrowding their Serato crates. Now, what I mean by overcrowding is having too many tracks in there. Now, I know I've said create smart crates for all your genres, and you're obviously going to have a lot of tracks in your genre crates, because inside my hip hop tracks, I have over 1,000 tracks, but I don't necessarily DJ from that crate. I feel like my genre crates, my genre smart crates are for organizing purposes. When you have your genres organized on the left hand side, you can then build crates off of them. So say for example, for me, I have a warm-up R&B crate and I have a warm-up hip-hop crate. Inside my warm-up hip-hop crate, I have obviously less hip-hop tracks in there because it's targeted to a specific scenario. So when you're organizing your music library, you should be breaking down your crates by scenario. Say for example, you're in a DJ booth and you're looking at the crowd. You should be able to look at the crowd and know what kind of crate to go into. So I know when I first start DJing, I know that I want to be inside one of my opening crates, whether it's all opening or one of the genre specific one. And then when girls start to come on the dance floor, I then move over to my girls crate. Then when the girls are on the dance floor and I need to start getting more and more people on the dance floor, I go into my club classics crate, which is full of my floor fillers. If you have a floor fillers crate, you know that every single track inside there will get people on the dance floor. When you're building out these scenario crates, obviously the tracks in there going to be a lot less than your main genre crates. It's a lot better to have less tracks inside a crate than more, because when you open up a crate in Serato, the first thing you're going to do is be like, oh my god, I got so much tracks. What track am I looking for? Like, you shouldn't be scrolling through Serato with your Serato face when you go into a crate that you know fits that scenario. When it's warm up, you should have all your warm up tracks that will get everyone on the dance floor in that crate. If there's a track in there that doesn't fit the warm up, why is it in there? Then that leads on to my point where you need to maintain these crates as well. So when you're creating scenario crates like girls warm up or R&B warm up, every 6 months, go through these crates, order it by one, and then go through each one. If you feel like the track still belongs in there, cool, keep it. If you feel like the track doesn't belong in there, get rid of it. Because if there's a track in there that doesn't belong in there, that's just more time that you need to scroll, another track you need to look at that makes you overwhelmed. So make sure that you're creating scenario crates so there's a lot less tracks inside each crate, and then make sure that you're maintaining these crates every 6 months. The next mistake I see DJs making is not backing up their music library. I literally think that DJs think it's not cool to back up their music library. I feel like they like being on edge, like, oh yeah man, I haven't got my music library backed up. Well, I don't see why that's cool, because as soon as you lose your music library, your DJ career is over. I guarantee if you were carrying on with your day and then your music library gets wiped out tomorrow, you're stressing. You are panicking, sweating, because you're like, oh my god, I haven't got any music for next week. Start calling up all your DJ mates. Have you got this R&B folder for me? Have you got any music for me? I've seen it all on social media before. And the first question I asked is like, don't you have a backup? Oh nah, I didn't get a hard drive. I didn't get this. I didn't sign up to Google Drive. Why? Why are you making your life harder? Like, this is what I don't understand about some DJs. You make your life harder for no reason. An SSD 1 TB drive is less than $100 or £100 in the UK. I don't see why you wouldn't make that investment just in case you lose your music library. Now, the way I back up my music library is I do 3 things. So the first thing is I back it up to my Google Drive. So literally my Google Drive is pointing to my all music folder on my laptop. Any changes I make to that folder, it gets backed up and synced to the library. If I remove a track, it gets backed up and synced to the library. If I add a track, backed up, synced to the library. If I update any tags, backed up, synced to the library. So say for example, my laptop gets stolen, it blows up. The changes that I've made the last time I touched my laptop will be in the cloud. So all I need to do is get a new laptop, connect it to my Google Drive, and then download all the tracks again, and I'll have my music library back within hours. The second way I back up my music library is using an external SSD. So I use a Samsung T7 hard drives. I'll leave the links for them in the description down below. These hard drives are great, they're fast, they're powerful, and they're just really easy. So what I'll do is I'll get my all music folder and my Serato folder, I'll copy it over to the SSD drive and I'll put it into a folder with today's date in, then I'll have a backup, and then that's it. And then the third way is I do have another hard drive. It's a bit of a slower hard drive, but it just has all my music on, and I'll give it to either a partner or a relative. The reason why I say this is because, say for example, God forbid, your house burns down, right? And your computer is gone and your hard drives are gone, at least your music is somewhere else in a different location. There's a very low chance that your house will burn down and then your partner's house or your parents' house will burn down. So just have your music library in another location, just in case. Like, obviously that's me being super paranoid, but it's better to be super paranoid than lose your music library. The next mistake I see DJs making is not using record pools properly. Now, if you don't know what a record pool is just an online site where DJs sign up to and then they download music from. Record pools are the best place to get high quality music for a DJ. I know a lot of DJs will get their music from YouTube and SoundCloud rips and stuff like that, which I'm not against it when you're first starting out, but when you start to become more of a professional DJ, you need to have higher quality music. The reason why I say their mistake is that they don't use it effectively is because they'll just go to a record pool and then just download every single song on there. Like, I've been a culprit of this when I first started as well, because you feel like you need to have every single track. What you need to be doing is going to these record pools with a purpose. Like, you need to be going on there looking for new songs that will fit your set or will fit your DJ style. Don't just download every single new track on there, because you're never going to play them and it's going to take up more space. So what I suggest you do is just have one day where you download all your music. Now, I know a lot of DJs will be like, oh, I need to download music every day, and just have one set day. Leading up to that day, have like a notes on your phone, which will have all the songs that you might have come across. Like, you might be playing Spotify and then you might get a song that you feel like will fit into your set. Write it down on your phone. And then when it comes to, say, Thursday, so I download all my new music on a Thursday. When it comes to Thursday, you just download all your music in one go. And then that's it. Go to your record pool, download all your music, and then update your music library. So the record pool that I recommend is Heavy Hits. If you want to get your first month for $4.99, check the link in the description down below, or use the code DJCB in the checkout. Next mistake I see DJs making is not having an importing workflow. Now, I'm looking at you specifically because I know at one point that you downloaded a song, put it on your desktop, and then just dragged it directly in Serato and then gone out and DJ'd with that. Say for example, you delete everything off your desktop like I do. Like, I clear up my desktop literally like twice a week because it gets too cluttered. If you delete that track off your desktop, it's going orange in Serato. You need to have an importing process, and I'm going to walk you through my one. So what I'll do is I'll download all my music from my record pools and they will go into my downloads folder. I will then move these tracks, like, listen to the word there, move, not copy, move. I will move these tracks into my Serato auto import folder. So now in my downloads, there's no tracks in there. Okay, because if you copy them, there's now going to be duplicates on your laptop taking up space. So I'll move it to my auto imports folder. When I open Serato, this folder would then appear inside Serato under latest import. Now, all these tracks in here, I need to sort out myself. So I'll make sure that each one has a title, each one has an artist, BPM, cue points, a genre, a year, and a tag on it to tell me what kind of scenario it fits in. If it doesn't fit into a scenario into my music library, I will just delete it. I've been a culprit before where I've downloaded a bunch of music from Heavy Hits. I've come to put it in my Serato and I'm like, I don't need this, and I'll just delete it straight away. So I've downloaded it from a record pool and I've deleted it when it's come onto my computer. And that's how you should be with your music library. You should be very, very precious with your music library. Don't just treat your music library as a dumping ground. Like, treat it as like something precious, something that really means something to you, because the cleaner and the better your music library, the better you will DJ. Once I put all that information into my tracks, I'll then move them into their specific genre crates. Now, this is what some DJs don't do. They just leave all their music in one place, like their desktop and their downloads. What I do is I import them into Serato, then I put them in their correct folders. So if you want me to make a full in-depth video on my importing process, type in importing in the comments down below. The next mistake I see DJs making is failing to dedicate time to maintain their music library. There's two ways I maintain my music library. So the first way is just doing my standard 20 minutes a day. Like, I go on about this 20 minutes a day because it's so important. Open up your DJ laptop, go to your to sort folder, and then just do 20 minutes of organizing. If you feel like you can do more, then obviously do more, but don't do too much where you start being like, this is long. Just do 20 minutes. You know, 20 minutes is nothing. We all spend 20 minutes on our phones scrolling through TikTok and Instagram. Why not do it to help you clean up your music library? And then the second maintenance I say that DJs should do is doing a 6-month clean out of your music library. So inside my crates, like I said, I've got warm up, main set, opening. I will go through all my main crates that I DJ out of. I'll order them by one and I'll go through them. If the track does not fit that criteria or that scenario, I will remove it out of that crate, because what you need to have is more efficient crates, smaller crates, more efficient crates, and it will help you DJ a lot more. I know that you've been there, DJs, where you're scrolling, you're like literally like this, like, where's this track? It's because you have too many tracks in your crate and they're not efficient enough. You should be able to go inside a crate for a specific scenario. Girls have just come onto the dance floor, right? I need to go into my girls crate. You need to look in that crate, and then you should be able to literally close your eyes and click a song, and it should fit that time of the night. If you can't do that, then you need to clean out your music library. So like I said, every 6 months, clean out your main Serato crates, and I guarantee your Serato crates will come down and be a lot more condensed, a lot more efficient, and it will help you DJ a lot better.